Hello, I'm Mark Unkefer, and welcome to Trump Thursday, which is our monthly Trump event that we had been meeting at La Hinge, and that was a great venue, right? Well, some of us are going to
Yep.
be going out to lunch
Wow.
for that. Actually, all four of us have been to one of those events at La Hinge. But now, of course, we're in the virtual world, and so we really welcome the opportunity to reach out to people who are big supporters. So I'm joined by Dwight Patel, who
Hi,
is,
everyone.
Dwight is one of our at-large um, delegates for Trump. Jim Calderwood, who is one of my running mates in Congressional District 6, and Jerry DeWolf, who is a double hitter who is from Congressional District 6 and is also the chairman of the Washington County Republican Central Committee. So welcome to you all. And so all four of us are going to a convention. Normally we know where the hell we're going, but this year everything is up in the air. So what are you guys hearing about location? And I'll let Dwight's doing a little background work. So Jim, why don't you share with, well, I'll let you lead off on that.
Okay. There's a very interesting article in today's Washington Times about the Republican convention and what's going on. Basically, once you read the article, we'll be franked among us all here. It seems to confused right now. There is no decision. There are several states now: Tennessee, Nevada, Florida, 2 locations, Georgia, that are vying to have it switched from North Carolina to them. The way the article is worded, also it appears that there's discussions about having at least some events in North Carolina. It doesn't say exactly what aspects of it. But no decision has been made. The RNC has people working on what could be done and when it could be done. So that's basically, in summary, what that article says. I personally feel, my view on this is that the convention ought to be held the first week of October. Trump is really good with his mass rallies. And if he has the mass rallies by the first week of October, things are going to be better with the coronavirus and so forth. More people will be willing to attend, and it'll be only 5 weeks before the general election. So it would seem to me the best thing to do with Trump doing so well in these big meetings that he gets the crowd really going is to have it the first week of October. But hey, who's listening to me?
Well, so we don't have our audience figures just yet, Jim, but we'll let you know. Jerry, now that's a curveball. What do you think of that?
Well, I'm not sure about the first week of October, but I'll certainly agree with Jim that President Trump is a master at, the rallies and getting folks riled up. And I tell you, there's never been another president like him. One thing that I'm thinking about during COVID period here, obviously these are unprecedented times, but going back to the founding of our democratic republic, our country's faced all sorts of perils. Even the great American Civil War didn't stop these sorts of conventions and things like this, and even during World War I and II, unprecedented times then. And yet we've always founded time to have these presidential conventions for the parties. 1854 for the Republican Party on, and this is a fantastic opportunity to it's great for our republic, it's great for our party, and it's critically vital. And I think that I'm happy to see, for one, that there are governors from various states around the country that are fighting hard to get this convention coming to their state. Those are folks that are looking out for their people. They're balancing public safety with what's good for their state, for their economy. And I think it's great on them. I think it's a great shame for Governor Cooper and what he's doing. And you can see that Cooper is not alone. There are Democrats around this country, and I think that they're pushing off and using those COVID fears for other reasons. And I think that they're using it to stoke the fears and to keep, this is another jab at us. Anything that they can do to go against President Trump, the Republican Party, and their own economy to try to push it against Trump. So that's my opinion in a nutshell.
Well, you put your finger on a good point there, which was that the states, of course, North Carolina has taken the position that Cooper has of not opening up and not providing assurance. But the contrast is Florida and Georgia have been opened up. Georgia has been open since the beginning of May, and the rate of increases in cases has not been faster than the rest of the country. In fact, it's been slower than Maryland. And actually, they're probably, if you look at the way it's doubling, the length of time it takes to double, people are probably getting better in time. So it's not that these states are opening up for the convention. The states are already opened up and are saying, we're prepared to do the convention. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Dwight.
Yeah, I was saying is one of the things, can you imagine the outrage if let's say the Democrats wanted to have their convention in Baltimore and Governor Larry Hogan says, you can't do this. You know what they would do to Governor Hogan? And they'd say Republicans meddling with another party's convention process. And that is what Cooper is doing. You know, they would not have this problem if North Carolinians voted for Governor McCrory, reelected him in 2016. Just think how great the convention. I mean, that's why everybody in North Carolina, every small businessman in the city of Charlotte should be voting for Dan Forest for governor this fall, because if conventions are a big economic boost to cities. I mean, look what it did for Cleveland. I mean, going into Cleveland, I'm like, this
let me interrupt a minute. Are we going to have other people coming on? Are Ruth Melson coming in? Is Pat Finetti coming in? I mean, are we having other people come in?
No, they're watching.
They're watching. Yeah.
Watching. Okay.
Yeah. Hi. Yes. Yeah. So the question. Just coming back. One of the interesting things was and let me say, well, I can provide and explain what happened is we had invited everybody to come to the Trump Thursday in March, whatever the last one that was an in-person one. And one of our delegates responded by email to the entire group saying, I'm sorry, I can't come. I've got a conflict. But of course he was turning down the March one. And so that was really what created some kind of
that was Dan Cox.
Yeah, yes, that was Dan Cox. So that's what kind of created the confusion. I reached out to folks and said, you're welcome to come on if you want. So we welcome you on, Jim, but nobody else responded to that. We weren't really.
Okay.
We like to have an intimate conversation on these, we don't
looks like that's what we're doing.
Well, that's exactly right. So one of the questions that we got is that now the Democrats were going to have their convention in July. They have moved the date to the week right before the Republican convention. Guys, what's the betting line as to whether or not they're going to go ahead with their own convention, which is up in Wisconsin?
I have a feeling what they're going to do is they're going to say, we're going to do the convention at Joe Biden's basement, and Joe's going to be doing his speech, He's going to be talking to himself in the mirror, and giving his speech, because the Democrats all know that the less they see of Joe, the better he looks. They don't want. I mean, can you imagine Joe getting up on stage, and just saying something? Well, when he says something stupid, I would say if he says, but it's when he says something stupid when he gets on there, he does not stick to his script. He will go off script. If you remember the big press conference after they passed Obamacare. He says on a hot mic, big effing deal. This is a big effing deal. And he didn't use F, used,
Right.
And can you imagine him, coming up there? This is a convention.
Well, guys, here's my take on this. I'd like to jump in. I apologize. So that if the Democrats didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have standards at all. And we start to see some of their double standards as, unfortunately in these times, with these riots and uncertain times, just a couple weeks ago, we had, lockdowns galore. And, we had for COVID. And now all of a sudden, in the wake of these, national riots and demonstrations, that's out the window and nobody's talking about that anymore. I think that, and especially the governor of Minnesota, she just, said, oh, okay, well, we'll just go ahead. We're ready now. Well, it's amazing how quickly things can change, at the whim when they're
Which is exactly why I think we ought to have the convention the first week of October, because of how fast things can change. We all know for past presidential elections, there's always the October surprise, and it's gonna stop the Biden people from being able to sneak something through the back door, and the momentum then will leave with thousands of people cheering up and down for Trump, with Trump's ability to really get a crowd going. That's why I think the first week of October is the best thing. But again,
that and the other thing that I'd say, Jim, I don't think you're wrong about that. I think that there's a couple things that are going to be at play here. One, the Democrat Party is going to, they got a real problem on their hands, and they're going to have to figure out how to mitigate Joe Biden talking to the masses. And because they have to minimize that. They can't get him elected in front of the cameras. They're probably going to have to turn down one-on-one debates somehow, or make sure, because Trump is just going to trounce him. I mean, seriously, who is excited about the one-on-one debate with Trump and Biden? I mean, I couldn't sleep at night thinking about it. It's so exciting. So they're going to have to figure out a way to get out of that. They're going to have to figure out a way to get past all of their normal convention routines. So it's going to be interesting. They have these double standards. They're going to try to figure out a way to have it, but they're going to have to minimize it greatly in order to minimize its impact and impact in front of or Joe Biden in front of the masses.
Yeah, that's the problem. And that's why whatever Trump would do first week of October, they're going to be able to rouse Biden up to be able to get in there and counter that. It's not going to give them very much time to be able to do that. Plus, that's another factor now in getting our convention together. I've been to 2 conventions in the past, and they're big events, and everybody has a good time, and there's the parties, and all the lobbyists are there putting on the big receptions and all of that. In fact, I'm already signed up for one. But are we going to have the time to really put that into effect this quickly? Are those groups that normally make it a joyous occasion with all the ballyhoo and whatnot going to be in a position to be able to do that in that period of time? And I think that's going to be a stretch, because they've also got the Democrat convention the week before, that some of these same lobby groups and all of that will want to be at. So I think there's a logistics problem there that the Republican National Committee is facing, trying to get all that together. I mean, we know about, Biden hiding in the basement and, his less than articulate statements and all of that. But what we got to do is have a convention that's going to, smack them right in the teeth and grab the attention of the American public.
Yeah.
I think, I think if we need to turn on a dime, and I think we can, because the RNC is staffed with a lot of capable people. I think Florida is the logical location, and Tampa would be because we've done it.
Yeah, Tampa's not in the mix, though.
Oh, it's not?
From everything I've read, no, it's Orlando and of the Florida cities,
Jacksonville.
Orlando and Jacksonville.
Orlando, not Jacksonville, because Jacksonville, again, you've got the congestion issues. While Orlando's more spread out, people go 95 to 100 miles an hour on the Florida Turnpike there. It's only about an hour away from my home, there. So, I can go down there 2 weeks ahead of time.
Some of us are aware that the Patel family used to have a hotel down in Orlando.
Best Western, right by the airport.
Shameless
plug. Where to stay.
No, we sold it after my dad passed away. We sold it.
So, but, in any event, so now there's some other stuff going on, and we won't just talk about the convention. One of the things that's happening sooner rather than there is that we have a birthday coming up, and it's not any of the 4 of us, it's the president's birthday. And Dwight, can you tell us a little bit about what some of the celebrations that are going on up there?
This was originally, we had planned this. Jerry was
the Montgomery County Republican
Club, and it was going to be an event we were going to do at the Holiday Inn in Gatesburg, but then we got kind of smacked upside the head with COVID-19. But as they say in Hollywood, the show must go on. We're
Right.
doing this as a virtual event. It's happening now, actually on the president's birthday, Sunday, June 14th, 7 to 8:15. And there's going to be bingo, virtual bingo, and it's only $25. And if you want to buy tickets, you go to mdgop.org/birthday. And we've got a lot of great partners in this event. The Honorable Ellen Sauerbrey, the Maryland Federation of Republican Women, the Montgomery County Republican Club, the Montgomery County Young Republicans, the Frederick County Republican Club, the Howard County Republican Club, Prince George's County Republican Central Committee, the Howard County Republican Central Committee, and last but not never the least, the Washington County Republican Club. And Jerry's part of that organization as well, correct, Jerry?
Yes, I'm no longer an officer anymore, but very active.
And you were one of our first to sign up as a sponsor of this event. We were going to do it. But it's a great event. And the other thing we have going on is if you go to MontgomeryCountyRepublicanClub.com/birthday card, you can sign a virtual birthday greeting to the President of the United States, which we will do like our thank you messages we did. We will print them out, put them in a nice bound book to send over to the White House. And I know what I've heard is some of the people that signed the thank you notes got little notes back from the president saying thank you for thanking him, And
yeah, Dwight, may I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I just want to say I want to thank you in front of everyone here for putting this on. And I just want to say to everyone that this is a fantastic opportunity. I mean, it's really not much. I mean, we're doing it virtually. It's a really a small thing for us all to do, but it really holds a lot of significance because we get a message directly to President Trump and we get to tell him that even though we're here in Maryland and he's probably not going to get our electoral votes, he has our support. He has the support from the Republican faithful, even in rural, blue states or purple states, and that's really a big deal for him. And I just encourage everyone to share this, to get in on it, to participate, and just do your small part. And if we could all do just a little bit of what we can do, it'll go a long way in giving that man some support and having him help our country.
Mm-hmm. And also, not only that, I mean, we're all part of the Trump army. We're foot soldiers. We can go across the border to Pennsylvania, which isn't too far from where you are, Jerry.
That's right. Right.
And knock on doors and help out because Pennsylvania is in play. We feel like we're going to go a little bit further. We go down to North Carolina. We get a twofer there. We help get Dan Forest elected governor and deliver North Carolina to in the Republican column again.
And that's actually one of the things that a lot of activists have been doing in Maryland is they've been training to take advantage of some of the new technologies that we have that allow us to reach out both, through video, such as we're doing here, but also we've had a lot of success reaching out on text messaging and by telephone to reach voters. And when you're doing that, you're really not constrained to just reaching your neighbor down the street or, down in the same town. But we've been able, the party have been very successful in being able to reach out to voters around the country. And a lot of these efforts were put in play. I know that particularly the Maryland Young Republicans were very active in contacting voters in the recent California special election, which ended up adding, basically flipping a seat and adding a new Republican congressman. So we really encourage you. We will be sharing a lot of these information. The ones that signed the birthday card, people can do what they want, but we'll give them the opportunity to participate in these Trump activities.
And if you also go to the Montgomery County Republican Club website, we have a big button. You can't miss it. It's a picture. We got a picture of the president at NASA, where thanks to the president and vice president, we're back in space. No more using Russian Uber to get to the International Space Station. Private public partnerships work. We sent up the Falcon and the Dragon capsule for less. I think I saw today it was 1/3 the cost of a space shuttle mission.
That's right.
And on the site, before I get too sidetracked, we have a great big button that says Army for Trump. And if you click on that button, you can sign up for all sorts of things. You can be a Trump team leader. You can sign up for Trump Talk. You can download the Trump app. You can become a bundler for President Trump. You can host a MAGA meetup. You can do all sorts, and all the information is there. And you can get all the information you need to make sure, to help get the president reelected. And
so I'll point out that some of these opportunities we have posted on the Zoom chat. I just posted the link off of the county party page, the county club page, to the birthday party celebration. I know you've already done the birthday card as well. So they're kind of great opportunities to stay involved.
Yep. And I think one of the things is it's kind of nice, because, everyone's beating up on the president these days, It's nice, that, people like to see nice things. I know we got when we did this through a taxpayer group I was with, thanking President George W. Bush for his tax cuts and leading us through 9/11. We got a nice little note from the White House. I think our friend Katya had something to do with it. We got the little note at the association. The president was very happy with our little efforts we had of thanking the president. And, presidents, they're like people. They're people, they like to hear nice things said about them, when everyone else, especially when everyone's beating up on them. If you open up the Washington Post or any of the news stations other than Fox or One America Network, it's nice to have people say nice things about him, and I think this is a great way to do it. Thank the president. The president's basically put his life on hold for 8 years, to help the country. He didn't have to be president. He's doing a great job. He didn't have to. He was not. He didn't have a burning, yearning desire to become president of the United States.
Well, that won't soft pedal it too much. It takes a lot to decide to be president.
No, but my point is this. He's put his life on hold. He's not taking a paycheck for this. He's donating a salary.
Could I talk about just one of the things that we've put up? I put up a link on the chat, the group chat, to both the birthday party celebration, but also to a great document that was put together by some activists within the Maryland party, and that is the Trump Top 10. And I realize some of the information reflects what happened before COVID, but the Trump 10 is a great set of talking points, if you will, when you're in the middle of having these conversations with folks who are saying, this is what I read in the Washington Post. This is the line of the day, to get back with real facts, real numbers, real specifics about the way the president has made a real positive contribution. A, and B, done precisely the things that he said he was going to do in 2016.
Well, this is Jim Calderwood. I'm going to have to sign off here in another minute or two. I've got some stuff coming up with my son, and we're building stuff and so forth. But I guess our next step, and I suppose that Corrine is going to be working on on whatever the RNC decides about our upcoming convention, where, when, if, and how. And we as far as that goes, we just have to see what comes out of them as to how we go about signing up, or what's going to be where. In the meantime, I'm going to have to sign off. It was good seeing you all again, and hey, keep the faith.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks,
glad to
Jim.
have you back.
Thank you, Jerry, Dwight. Good to see you guys.
Thank you, Jerry. Jim.
So I think that we've kind of covered the major elements. We've given people a lot of links to ways in which they can get involved. We've got the birthday card, we've got the birthday party, and we've got the Trump Top 10 as sort of three things that folks who want to stay involved in make a contribution. We probably should have put up a financial link. Probably somebody from the Trump campaign would have said, get the donate here button, but I didn't have a chance to do that. Jerry?
They could donate from going to the Trump Army page. We've got
right. Yeah, no, it's off that. Yeah, the Trump Army page that we have on the party, on the club site too. Do you guys have any last words?
Well,
go ahead, Jerry.
Well, I'd just like to say that this is an honor of a lifetime. This is the first time I'm going to a convention. Just turned 39. I've always wanted to go to a presidential convention my whole life. I just, Tuesday night I was on the ballot for CD6 as an alternate delegate. I got just 20,200 some votes. Really appreciative of the folks of Maryland's 6th Congressional District. I was unopposed, but they still checked the box, and I'm really appreciative of that. It's a great opportunity, and it's a privilege of a lifetime to be able to go to one of the greatest conventions in our lifetime and be able to support and be there for President Trump. And I'm going to, Mark, you introduced me at the beginning. I'm also the chairman of the Washington County Central Committee. Our party here in Washington County is very alive and well, and I have a mandate that I take very seriously. I represent our 42,000 plus Republican voters of Washington County, and our Republican Party in Washington County just loves President Trump. So it's an honor and a privilege to be able to represent them there. I'm just all excited about this, and I'm excited to be here with you guys tonight, virtually, and I really appreciate the opportunity. And, you guys are a great group of folks down there. And one more thing I have to tell you. I work in Frederick County. I work at Fort Detrick, and, I come across a lot of folks. And every once in a while, I hear people say, there's a Republican club in Montgomery County. And I look at them and I say, oh, my goodness, yes. I said, they are one of the most vibrant clubs in the entire state. And, we have a pretty active club in Washington County, and I know others do. It's not a slight to anyone else or our own, but I'm just telling you guys, I'm very thankful for you. I defend, this club all the time in many different circles. And, you guys are doing a great job here, and I'm very excited to be here. You had me down a few months ago in person, and it was an honor. And I just thank you guys personally for putting this on and for all the work, and you're a good example for the whole state. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry.
Tough to top that, Dwight, but you got any final words?
No, just telling everyone, go to Montgomery County Republican Club for the latest on the Trump campaign news and information. We've got all the information. We're basically the club for President Trump in Montgomery County.
There you go.
And anything you want to know about Trump related, MontgomeryCountyRepublicanClub.com.
Yep.
Good. Well, thank you all.
Thank
and
you.
Hopefully by next month, we'll have more information, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Hey, yep. So